Kapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroki. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important things are needed to be.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework planet. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5 Kapla, and welcome to Bed Life for December 19th, 2022. It's National Emo Day, not to be confused with Emu Day, which I don't know when that might be, but I'm sure it exists. And thank you for Yvette, the beautiful Yvette, using her 1-month friend of Karoga super chat to say, hoping for kissing Dax. I think that might be the first time Yvette has asked for kissing Dax. We all hope for kissing Dax. Indeed. Richie Poole was first in the chat. Kapla Richie. And he says, emo, lol. No, emo, LMO. What? I think he means LOL. I don't know. Emo, LMO, and Doug. I don't know what that means. But to be completely honest, I'm really not so sure I know what emo means to begin with, but we'll get to that in a bit. Captain MKG says, Kapla, Captain. Even though I didn't say hello this morning, I did see at least part of your stream this morning. And NB and BK Dan are all on while you played City Skylines. Very cool. John Meyer says, what if I prefer National Goth Day? What if there is no difference? No, scratch that. I prefer National Visigoth Day. And then he puts a couple of swords. I don't know what Visigoth is either. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello in Kapla. Hail Karoga, hail Karoga. Hakeem says, emo day. Time to break out the skinny jeans and black nail polish. You know, I knew about the black nail polish, but the skinny jeans were a surprise to me. Deej Odyssey, Kapla Deej says, breaking news for Bird. I am home, out of the hospital, though I'm still going to take a few days to rest. So I won't be around yet. Deej, that is awesome news that you're home, and awesome news that you're taking some time to rest Thank you, Mama Pray, also yelling that you should be resting. Feel better soon, guy. Feel better soon, Deej. For those of you who don't know, Deej had some issues and wound up in the hospital recently after his stream or during his 48-hour stream. So keep on the eye out for Deej in the next few days. At some point, I'm sure he'll stream when he's ready, but it's when he's good and ready. We're just happy he's home and out of the hospital. John DeMarco says, greetings, everyone. Greetings, John. John Araki says to stop dead naming. I'm not sure who I was dead naming or if someone else was dead naming. 54.5 because Deej went to the hospital to have a procedure. I see. No, it's still okay to call Deej. I'm pretty confident it's okay. John Araki with the $1 super chat. Thank you, John Araki. Unfortunately for Yvette and us all, not kissing tags. John Araki with the dead naming comment. It took a minute, but I got it. 54.5 Access Radio says, oh poop. I thought it said emu, and with a sad face. A lot of people thought it was emu day. LDG, hashtag free the net gives away. Welcome, LDG. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says Kapla all. Kapla Gorilla. Dave G Sound says Kapla Dave G. Yvette says good evening, Bird, and everyone good evening again, Yvette. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says it's National Emo Day. I thought it was National Drive like an effing dumbass day because of the way people were driving. Mama Praise confirms it's actually this time of year. Apparently, I think it's National Drive Effing Crazy Month or National Drive Effing Crazy Quarter, even. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47 Yorktown. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, Berta Pray, Kapla, Jedi Bill. Dave G says, Emo Phillips Day? No. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, glad to hear it, Deej. And John Araki is saying, oh, Deej is now D. No, is that what happened? It went from Deej Odyssey to D Odyssey. Funny thing about going from Deej to D, he'd be short to D now. If anything, he would really be going from Deej to Eej because he lost his D. Poor Deej. Poor Deej, just rest. Rest, Deej. Don't get upset. Don't get upset that you lost your D. Deej. The Random Menace is greetings from the future. Hope you're preparing for the takeover of the CEO function from Elon. Of course, I'm ready. As soon as Elon lets me know when to go, I'll take over as CEO of Twitter. I'll teach people you can't lead by democracy. Democracy doesn't work. It's failed every time it's been tried. And Elon keeps pushing every big decision as a poll on Twitter. That's doom. He's dooming the entire company. He's very possibly dooming Western civilization as a whole. Certainly dooming his own 401, not 401k, his own finances. John Araki's laughing. Don't pop those stitches. You might literally split in half. Yeah. Let's keep the laughter down to a minimum today in case Deej is listening. We don't want to get him too riled up. So yeah, today, Monday, December 19th, National Emo Day, and truth be told, I have no idea what the hell emo really means. To me, an emo kid was just somebody who wore all black and I don't know, didn't seem to like anything, but was cool in their own little group of people who all didn't like things. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know anyone who was really an emo. I don't even know if it's pronounced emo. Is emo how it's pronounced? Is it EMO? Is it emo? Is it MO? I don't know. I have not the slightest idea. To my internal dialogue, I've always pronounced it as emo, and I know that there was something difference between goth and emo, but I have no idea what the differences are. I don't know if somebody was particularly goth or emo. I don't know what the difference is, what music they like or dislike, or if it was music based at all. I just know that if the girl's wearing black nail polish, she probably doesn't shave her armpits. Okay, that's all I know. I don't know if that's a goth thing, an emo thing, or was just this one particular girl in high school who fit that general description. But she didn't seem to hang out with anyone in particular, so I don't know. I don't know. John Araki says Elon Musk did not kill himself. No, he's not going to. Syphilis says, hello all, happy emo day. Happy emo day, Syphilis. John Araki says emo are the proto trans kids. Like they were proto. I'm not even sure I know what that means. Like today's trans kids were emos of yesterday. The multi-gunman, Kapla multi-gunman says bird. Welcome, multi-gunman. The random menace is happy emu day. Now at least I know what an emu is, random menace. At least an emu has, some place in the food chain. John Araki says JJ Trek Spock is emo. Really? Because I would not have guessed that. The multi-gunman says emos are the official weirdos of Karoga. I don't think we have emos in Karoga. Sithless says we're talking about the Great Emu War of 1932. No, I know about the Great Emu War of 1932. I know the emus won that war. I doubt the emos would have won. The Random Menace's armpit hair is yucky. I would agree, Random Menace. I would agree. I remember this girl in high school. On her best day, I would say she wasn't ugly in the face. On her best day, she wasn't ugly. I would describe her as not ugly. And she had a nose ring, which back in 1992 to 96, was a lot less prevalent than it is today, especially in a fairly decent high school. Now, I didn't go to the smartest high school in the city, but I would venture to say it was in the top 5 in terms of the intellectual ability of the students there. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you have a nose ring, you're necessarily stupid. But I would certainly say, at least in the 90s, the smartest kids weren't generally going out getting their noses pierced. I think that happened. I think that changed over the next decade or two, but yeah, in the mid 90s, it didn't happen often. Anyway, this particular mildly attractive teenage girl, when asked, not by me, mind you, because I couldn't give a fuck, but I was in earshot when somebody else who cared more asked her, like, why did you get your nose pierced? And she's like, oh, well, do you know? And she proceeds to name the 2 or 3 hands down hottest girls in the high school. Do you know so and so, so and so, and so and so? And obviously, any guy, even I, knew their names. Would say, yeah, obviously I know of them if I don't know them personally. And she's like, well, I would look just like them if I didn't have this nose ring. And I cringed. I so wanted to say something, but this was high school Bird. I was much shyer than I am now. Now granted, this particular girl didn't what's that? Didn't cause me to quiet up. You know, I didn't. Her not personality. She didn't carry herself. Her confidence or lack thereof, whatever. Well, she obviously had more confidence than she should have, but her disposition didn't overwhelm me that I was like too shy to talk to her or something. But part of me did think, no, don't go after her. There's nothing good could come from it. And regrettably, I never said anything. But I wanted to say, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't look anything like. And one of the names she said was somebody who was in my class since the 3rd grade. Okay, we were in the same class since the 3rd grade. I don't say they were a good friend, but we were friendly. So you know that person. Okay, no way, shape, or form are you that person, nose ring or not. Just the gall she had to even think she was in the stadium that those particular names she read off. She wasn't on that levels. Okay, those were 9s and 10s. She was a 5. Okay, with the nose ring, a 3, maybe less. But whatever. To me, she was the closest to whatever I would call emo or goth or whatever. The fact that she was a militant vegan on top of it all, and she only used fucking Tom's of Maine's natural soap, so she stunk partially. She was never she never had a pleasant odor. She wasn't disgustingly smelly like somebody who didn't wash, but like even if she showered daily, which I suspect she did, the fact that she was using soap that essentially was made out of tree sap, how good could of wash could you really get? Anyway, to me, that's emo or goth. whatever, counterculture, all the things I didn't like. I've just attributed to emo and goth, and I never really had a firm understanding of what it is. So today is National Emo Day. Were any of you emos? Are you emos now? Are your kids emos? I'm kind of curious. Like, tell me, am I saying it wrong? I want to know. I want to know. Syphilis confirms the emus kicked our ass. What was the Great Emu War? Oh, the Random Menace, never heard of it. Oh, Random Menace in Australia, they imported emus. Emus then went crazy breeding and started eating all the crops. So the farmers needed to kill the emus. So the Australian government sent the army to kill the emus. And the emus won. The emus won. The army was unable to kill the emus faster than the emus could breed. It took years, I believe, before they actually gave up. They had to give up. Moxley fans says, we, the people. Indeed, we, the people. Not just for the emos and the goths, it's for everybody. Hakeem says emos are less successful goths. Is that true? I mean, I believe it. The Random Menace's nose rings are for bulls. No, this woman was not a bull. The multi-gun man says the Random Menace says he'll ban all armpit hair as part of his political platform when he runs for Prime Minister of Canada. Well, then that would probably be good. If I was Canadian, I'd vote for him. John Araki says, question of the day from Mamo Pray. Can you tell us about one of Bird's embarrassing phases growing up? Did he pierce his ear? Did he try skateboarding? Did he try a mohawk? Did he join the Glee Club?
No, to all of them.
Mama Praise says rightfully no to all of those. I can fill in a little. I tried to join the Glee Club, but I was told right away, about 2 seconds into starting the song, that I was tone deaf and it wasn't for me. Fuckers. Miss Gabay.
She's still on Facebook.
Miss Gabay, she's still on Facebook?
Yeah,
And she's still your friend?
no, you're not my friend. No, she's friends of.
She's friends of friends. She's got to be 95. She was given like piano lessons. She could be 100.
She still gets lessons.
Miss Gabay. You know, two people. Mr. Cole and Miss Gabay.
Oh,
Mr. Cole in elementary school and Miss Gabay in junior high. And they both said singing wasn't for me.
and look at you now,
And look at me now.
singing on YouTube.
Hippopotamus songs. Anyway,
On board, you ever asked me that?
yeah, Mamo Frey. I didn't have any embarrassing
No,
phases.
no, you didn't. I mean, if you did, I didn't know about it, but you didn't do anything ridiculous like that. I mean,
no.
your sister, on the other hand,
Sisso Frey's.
got her tongue pierced.
Yeah, Sisso Frey had her tongue pierced twice.
Twice, yes.
and she got a tattoo.
A small tattoo on her ankle.
All with parental permission.
Yeah, I didn't say I was great.
Anyway,
Oh well.
John Araki says Salty went emo. Is that what it was? Stanley says, I thought it was frogs. No. The emus. Oh, emus are native, not imported. I'm sorry. It was frogs that were imported. Syphilis. Apologies, Syphilis. You should, well, you're definitely the Australian, the expert here. Dave G says the Russian boatman song, Yo ho ho ho. No, I was asked to sing Happy Birthday. Happy Birthday was the song that got me thrown out. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says it may be spelled emu, but it's pronounced crap. I'd have to look that up. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Syphilis is basically there were too many of them, and we gave up on killing them, so they won. We legit used the army. Yeah, that much I know. The lovely Sherry is in the house. Hello, Berto Pray 5 and Mamo Pray 5. Kapla, a lovely Sherry. And I know certain people would play your music, but apparently I've been told by 2 distinct music teachers I'm not allowed to sing. The Multi-Gun Man says one of Berto Pray's embarrassing phases was when he became dictator of a foreign country called Karoga. No, the Multi-Gun Man. In fact, we're going to go old school today. We're going to check in on the armed republic of Karoga because in the months it's been since we've checked in, I have been making little tweaks to the great nation state of Karoga. And while civil rights remain average, our economy recently upgraded to all-consuming. I didn't even know it could be upgraded from where we were before, but all-consuming is even better. You could tell it's green, and green means good. And while political freedoms remain few, but who cares when the economy is doing all right? And you got an average amount of civil rights, which I would say is at least as much as we have right now. Okay. I got to log in. I've got to log in to Karoga because there's a couple of issues. We should check up on. Berto Pray 5, The Unforgettable, and the Chocolate Factory. Local chocolate factory Wanko Candy Universe was busted by the police last night. Authorities discovered that it was only able to produce its tasty treats at low prices due to a workforce that was comprised of illegal immigrants from Zompabuland, a battle-ravaged country that has been mired in a decades-long civil war. Sounds like Kurdistan. The ill-treated workers had been smuggled into Karoga with the promises of work and were being forced to, quote, work off their cost of passage. So the debate, a group of men, each as tall as your knee, stumble into the room and break into song. Zoompa, zoompa, zoopity, zoo. Master feeds us terrible food. Zoompa, boompa, zippity dee. If you are bad, he'll whip ye. What do you get when you eat like a cat? An eating disorder, and that is that. I don't like the taste of it. the Zumpa booters hand you a petition asking for all illegal immigrants to be granted amnesty and citizenship before they are shoveled into a wheelbarrow by your security guard and ordered removed from your office. No, they're not getting citizenship. They're illegals. So let's see. Number 2 is, what, inquires madman factory owner Willy Wenko. These claims are preposterous. My little helpers have their own lives, families, and free will. Furthermore, I pay them plenty. He turns to the last 3 little workers still in your office, handing 2 of them a piece of chocolate each, but grabbing the 3rd one around the throat. So you thought it was a good idea to tell tales, huh? No rations for a week. Ha ha ha, sorry, that was a little joke. I beg you, allow me to keep our little factory workers' family together, and I'll let the magic of Wenko chocolates keep bringing smiles to the children's faces. For the kids, Berto Pray 5, the unforgettable, the kids. And of course, Mama Pray loves the chocolate, which again, thanks to the Random Menace, she's got a 1-pound Hershey's chocolate bar this week. So thank you again. So that sounds good. Or number 3, are you kidding me? This is a no-brainer, exclaims Immigration Officer Charles Bucket, whose fearless infiltration of the factory was instrumental in busting open the Wenko case. It's obvious this purple-hatted lunatic was exploiting these people. How would you like it if you were kidnapped by some rich weirdo to work in their factory forever? We need to ship these little folk home immediately. Well, that seems like that's rude. So I think we should just go along and allow the Oompa Zoompas to continue making their chocolate. So I will accept number 2. And chocolate in the Caroga has its flavor enhanced by the salty tears of enslaved factory workers. Oh no! Oh no, Caroga's civil rights fell from average to below average. And the Carogan economy fell from all-consuming to powerhouse. Why would that hurt the economy? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. God damn it. What else? What else do we have to do? A duty to serve. The community service programs are becoming increasingly popular in private schools across Caroga. Now parents have proposed implementing a similar program in the state-funded high schools and middle schools, where students must complete 10 hours of community service per year to graduate. The debate. 1. My son sits around on his butt all day. I think it would be good for him to get out and help the community, says Lucas Lowe, busting into your office while a teenage boy trudging behind him rolls his eyes. Not only will it help the people in need, it will also give all the students a chance to take part in the community as a proud citizen of Caroga. I don't want people forced into doing work. That would definitely hurt civil rights. Hey man, we don't have the time to do community service when we spend the whole day on schoolwork and studying, his son tells you. Chill out with the long school days, and maybe we'll have more time to contribute to the community on our own. No, I don't know about that. 3, your cousin who just stopped by to bring you cookies pipes in. I think community service programs are a great idea. 10 hours a year isn't even that much, but it can change a lot if enough people are doing it. There's no reason to limit it to students. Just think what we could do for our country if every able-bodied adult had to pitch in. And number 4, are you kidding me? Ruby Silk, CEO of Natural company shouts from the window from her limousine. I don't have time to go out and pick up trash. I'm doing the world a service by supplying the world with abundant amounts of natural gas. Surely that counts as community service. In fact, these kids could volunteer at my plant, if you don't mind, of course. She slowly rolls up her window before driving off. Now you see, I think that's probably, we could have these students volunteer to make natural gas for 10 hours a year. That's fine. Record numbers of students are leaving school to enter the workforce. See, that's terrific. That's terrific. Let's do one more. One more. Kicking out the competition, flash crash, cash dash, or military budget up for approval. I don't know. Budget sounds boring. See, it's kicking out the competition. The top clubs in the nation's T-Rex Ball League have expressed interest in leaving domestic competition to join the closed elite Osiris T-Rex Super League instead. T-Rex ball fans are worried the state of competition in Karoga will suffer. Okay, no, well, don't worry about it. I think we did enough. We did enough for today. Well, we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this in a minute. Where are we? Hakeem says, I was more of a rocker kid, but had hang out with the goths and some emos that weren't too emo. Lol. The random menace is Bird, you are not tone deaf. You are the most successful music assassin I know. The multi-gunman says Mamo Pray for Empress of the Alpha Quadrant. The lovely Sherry, I had my tongue pierced when I was 19. Oh my God. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you people. And that includes Sis Ofray. Why would you pierce your, I don't want to know, but what would make you even ponder the thought of piercing your tongue? Like, who was the first person that said, I have a perfectly good tongue in my mouth? You know what would make it even better? If I stick this piece of metal through it with 2 fucking balls on either end. Who does that? Why? That's something that would be torture. Like the CIA would be banned from piercing the tongues of America's enemies. And I would say, yeah, you know what? That might go too far. Like waterboarding. Maybe that's too much. In fact, I might take waterboarding over tongue piercing in the scheme of things. John Iraqi says, Sis O'Bray, tongue pierced. D is dead. Deej is back. I don't think it's pierced any longer, John Iraqi. I'm pretty sure she took it out and it healed up. It healed over. John Iraqi says, the best song Bird ever sung was Lola. Lola? You mean the one with Lola? She was a showgirl. The Copacabana, but that was 30 years ago when there used to be a show. I don't know. Is that Lola? The Random Menace says, I am boring. I only have natural holes and no skin punctures. No skin pictures. Yeah, I don't have any tattoos or piercings, but if it was ever coming down to one or the other, it would be a tattoo over a piercing for sure. Mike Richards says, Is a depressed ostrich an emu? I think so. The multi-gunman says bird of prey, the Krogan flag looks suspiciously like the flag from 1930s to 1940s Germany. Interesting. Excuse me. The Krogan flag, which is red, white, and blue with a few stripes and a blue three triangle symbol in the center, looks like the German flag, the so-called bad guy flag from Germany. There is nothing here that even remotely resembles the German flag. Okay. Now it might resemble on some very basic 25% different level a Klingon symbol to a point, but that, I assure you, is just coincidence. Okay. John Araki says New York City is canceling services due to too many immigrants. Yes, I heard that we had an unprecedented surge in migrants. And I don't know what they're canceling exactly, but I hear that it's causing problems. So a city of 10 million people, I guess we finally reached the point that we've got too many people. Even though the population, I believe, has shrunk. Again, that's the legal, legit population that shrunk. John DeMarcos has taken away jobs from Krogan citizens. Tisk tisk. The random menaces. The question is, are there still some tic tacs left? Actually, random menace, there are. Listen, it's the thought that counts. It really was. I very much appreciate the tic tacs. I very enthusiastically opened the tic tacs the day I got them after the stream ended and put a couple in my mouth. And after about a minute or two, I was like, oh God. I was like, okay, let me just power through it. Maybe I just need to give it another minute or two. But after 3, 4, 5 minutes, I finally spit them out. Unfortunately, whether my taste buds changed or the formula for Tic Tac, orange Tic Tac changed, I don't know. But now, when I put an orange Tic Tac in my mouth, it tastes like chemicals. It tastes like chemicals compared to what used to taste like a very organic citrus flavor, orange citrus flavor. It's gone. Now it tastes like I'm sucking on a magic marker or something. You're going to try one? Okay. Mom will probably will try a Tic Tac after the game, she said. Mike Richards is what else does one sit on? I don't know. You don't sit on a Tic Tac. The Basco scenario says Kapla. Hope you are doing well. Kapla Basco. Hope you are doing well. Are you still doing Call of Duty 2? Warzone 2? I've given up on Warzone. I've been at least 3 months. At least 2 months without any Warzone. Probably 3. The multi-gunman says John DeMarco, the jobs were taken away from Krogan citizens as reparations for the orphan volunteers in the uranium mines. And John DeMarco says those poor miners. The multi-gunman agrees. The lovely Sherry. appears to be smiling. The multi-gunman confirmed Bird waterboards and pierces the tongues of the uranium mine orifice. No, I do not. That's fake news. The Random Menace's fun fact: the tongue is the only muscle on the human body attached only on one end. Is it really a muscle? Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Bird, if you get a tattoo, what would you get? I would get either a Klingon symbol or like a bird of prey or, something Trek based, something Klingon more than likely. Michael T. High Desert Comics says, Yosef, now imagine it covered in skin. Evelyn Verkel, this is my favorite singer, except for David Bowie and 29 other singers, is Bird O' Prey 5. Thank you, Eastland. The multi-gunman says, I only have one tattoo. It's a tattoo Bird forces me to get. It's a UPC tattoo with the property of Krogan government written underneath. It wasn't a force, it was just a tax deduction. Mama Frey put the Tic Tac in her mouth, is now shaking her head.
No, don't taste the same.
It doesn't taste the same. Confirmed. Confirmed.
But
So,
thank
but thank you, Joseph. It was very much appreciated the gesture. Unfortunately, like everything, they seem to have fucked with the ingredients and ruined a good thing.
Excuse me.
Yes, Mom.
If your phone starts going off,
Yeah,
you could give it to me
okay,
because I placed another order.
no problem. Yeah, I did not force anybody to get a tattoo. It does, however, get a tax deduction if you get a UPC code. 54.5 Axis Radio says the Krogan flag is, quote, very interesting. It is interesting, and you may all bask in its glory. Basco says playing multiplayer, not Warzone much. Gotcha. Random Menace says, wow, I will send you some for Bjork. You don't have to, Random Menace, though. I appreciate it. Do you still like them? I mean, do you enjoy them? You've tried them. You know that they taste good. Because I'd be curious to see if these here taste like what you've got. Miss Lundell's Groovy Movies says, my understanding is Call of Duty has gone woke. Well, it went woke years ago, to be like 2 years ago. There's been more women apparently fought in World War II than you could ever have imagined. But it's still, don't get me wrong, it was still worth playing. Random Menace will send some from Europe. I mean, don't go crazy, Random Menace.
No.
It's probably not worth it. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird how they changes the ingredients. Miss Lundell, I read that. LDG can think of one more muscle. Wink, wink. I don't think that's a muscle. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, I got a cloaked Bird O' Prey tattoo. Excellent. Excellent. And the Random Menace also says, not a muscle. Yeah, an actual muscle. So, like I said, National Emo Day, also National Hard Candy Day. So the Tic Tac technically might have fallen in this, though, these appear to be more fruit colored candies like Lifesavers and Jolly Ranchers, Ring Pops, Lollipops. I guess those all count as hard candy. My favorite hard candies are ones that are generally cherry and or grape flavored, red or purple. It's also look for an Evergreen Day, National Harry Day, and National Oatmeal Muffin Day, which is nasty. Let's see, what is National Emo Day? Okay, I wouldn't have looked at this woman and thought that was emo. I would have thought that was goth, if anything, except the blue hair. I don't think she belongs as either. Those black hair would put her as goth, I would have thought, but whatever. Timeline. Did you rock skinny jeans? I have never worn skinny jeans, and I can pretty much assure you I never will. Tight t-shirts. Well, I wore tight t-shirts, but only under larger shirts. So the t-shirts kind of acted like a combination of a girdle and a bra. Keep my things, my more bulbous pieces in place. And have studded belts. No, I've never had a studded belt. How about jet black hair? Well, that I did have, but that was natural. And long bangs? No. For many people, the word emo describes a sad teenager who dresses in a very deliberate way. But the emo subculture has a long storied history that reaches back to the 1980s and continues to resonate today. On National Emo Day, we recognize the rich complexities of the emo movement and gain a greater appreciation of its place in popular music. Weezer, anyone? The fuck does that even mean? I have no idea what Weezer anyone means. 1985, Rites of Spring. This hardcore punk band released their only album, which later emo artists would cite as an important influence. So a band releases a single album, which starts the emo craze. 1986, Pinkerton released. Weezer's sophomore album, okay, so I guess Weezer is a band. Weezer's sophomore album received generally negative reviews, but young kids just getting into alternative music turned out, big difference. Turned out in big numbers, the album helped establish the emo look and aesthetic. And then from 1996 to 2002, emo's mainstream breakthrough. This year saw huge sales for Jimmy Eat World and Weezer albums, causing Spin magazine to declare it the year of emo. In 2002, I was working my ass off, busy traveling across the country and the world, doing actual work. So I guess I missed the emo craze. And 2004, viral emo images, aesthetically pleasing images of emo fashion and lifestyle began circulating on the social network site Orkut. Never heard of it. What the fuck is aesthetically pleasing images. They just mean topless emo girls. National Emo Day activities. 1, listen to some emo. I didn't even know it was a music. Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance. They used. Take a shuffle through what emo has to offer. You may be surprised by what you find. I have never heard of any of these songs. 2, raid your closet. Put on your emo gear. I am confident I have none. We're guessing you went through a bit of an emo phase. You guessed wrong. And you might still have some tight black t-shirts, white belts somewhere. 0, nope, and no. Throw them on and ignore the haters. And 3, and I would say don't do this, hug an emo kid. Seriously, they look so sad. Show them some love. That sounds like a great way to get arrested. You're not allowed to hug kids you don't know, by the way. That is against the law. Popular trends emo started. Ear gauges, the default millennial piercing option, was first adopted by, you guessed it, the emo community. So I see I have a score to settle with the emo community. 2, social media. Back when you couldn't see the point in getting a Facebook page, emos were tricking out their MySpaces with glitter animations and their favorite songs on autoplay. I never thought of emos as somebody who used glitter. 3, selfies. Emos pioneered the art of self-photography before phones had a selfie camera. Excuse me, cameras have had a timer function for 50 years or longer, okay? They're not the first people to ever take the pictures of themselves. It goes back much before 1986. And 4, skinny jeans, the official 00's pants style for both men and women, started in the emo community first. Emo's full of music variety. That's part of the fun, from harsh DC emo to plaintive Midwestern, to emo pop, emo rap, and screamo. There's emo for every taste. Not for me. And emo fashion looks good on everybody. Part of the reason emo fashion caught on is that it's hard to look bad in it. Slimming black shirts, skinny jeans, retro sneakers. Just go easy on the piercings. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to not look good in skinny jeans if you're not skinny. The point is that if you're ugly, you just won't wear, or not ugly, excuse me. If you're heavy, you just won't wear skinny jeans. And C, emo is heartfelt. Many proper adults find emo self-indulgent and depressing, but for a young person struggling with a lot of volatile new emotions, emo's honesty, earnestness, and willingness to tackle tough subjects are a breath of fresh air in an otherwise sterile pop landscape. No. National Emo Day dates. For people who don't know, it's December 19th, every day of every year. 2022, December 19th. 2023, December 19th. 2024, December 19th. 2025, December 19th. 2026, December 19th. What do you think it's going to be in 2027? Well, I don't know. I'll have to wait for them to update the calendar, I guess. Motherfuckers. Fucking emo. Fucking emo. The Hakeem says the overweight emo that I saw wearing skinny jeans should have been arrested for indecent exposure. Absolutely. And John DeMarco says, I still don't see the point of getting a Facebook page. Well, John, if you have family that aren't nearby, like if you ever have perhaps a nephew or something that you don't get to see all the time, it's a great way to look at pictures of family, of friends, of people who, move away, but you still want to keep in touch with. You don't want to do email all the time. They want to just upload pictures to a central place so everybody's friend can look in on it. That's a good reason for Facebook. Okay, it's time for Wordle. Wordle alert. If you don't want to know what the answer to Wordle is, come back in a few minutes. The Traveler. Hey, Wes. Traveler. The Traveler, formerly known as Wesley Crusher. Says Birdo Prey 5, greetings, birds, turds, and birds, salty turds, and nerds. Greetings, Wes. And the Random Menace says, I would never date an emo. That's because you're married. I know what you're about to say, because you're married. The Traveler uses the custom emoji. Thank you, Traveler. Okay. Wordle. Let's see. Mike Richards says Birdle. Okay, this is. Let's see. What word should we start off with today? I don't know. Tuned. Tuned. I don't know. We have a T and an E in the wrong spot. Okay. Let's go. No, can't do ether because that E would have been green. Let's see. Steph. Steph. Is that a word? No. Stein. Okay. We got an S in the right spot. And we got a T and the E still in the wrong spot. And there's no I and no N, which there was no N already. So that was a bad word. But whatever. We got S. So that's we're at a good start. So there's okay, so it probably ends in E. So then maybe T is the second to last letter. There's no E. So let's see. There's probably another vowel. That's not how you spell Spain. Let's see. S C A scale. SCALE. Okay. We have the S, the A, and the E in the right spot. And there's an L. We know the L is in the wrong spot. So we know the L has to be second. So SLA, some letter E. Okay. Slaw, slay, SLAYE. Is that a word? No. Slipe, slash. What's that noise? No. Slaff, slag, slake, slack, slake, slack, slays, slave, slave. That's very triggering. Oh my God, it's not slave. I thought that would have been too triggering a word. Huh. Slame. Slash. Slame. Slave. Slacks. Slays. Slal. Slake. Slake. Sludge. Slaw. HE. No. Slage. Slaff. Slash. Slay. No. Slape. Slope. No. Slack. Slay. I tried that one already. Slate. Oh shit, the whole time I forgot to use the T. Damn it. Slate. Where did the T go? I should have had that. I should have had that a little sooner. Oh well. At least we got it. At least I should have had it in 4. Actually, I should have had it in 3, but definitely should have had it in 4. Yeah. But okay, we got it in 5. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. The Travelers is Bird of Prey. I read that. Mike Richards is Bertle. LDG got it done in 4. Ms. Lundell says, already know the answer. Just be quiet. Jedi Bill says, emo. Welcome, Jedi Bill. LDG says, another N bird. No hard mode. Cheater. Oh my God, he forgot the T. Oh my God. A whole bunch of laughing. You have the word already, says LDG. Miss Lundell says no such thing as triggering words. I think the New York Times would disagree. Plus, in the IT community, they used to use master slave to describe disk drives, and due to the problematic nature of the word master, they changed out and slave. They changed it to primary and secondary. This is real. They used to, that's how you computer, if you look at a computer book, like from the 1980s or the 1990s, and even the early 2000s, you had a master or a slave drive. And now you have a primary and a secondary drive. Random Menace says, Lowell skipping the T is so funny. LDG says, I can't take this anymore. Zondell says he'll never get it. Ye of little faith. Mike Richards is shaking his head. LDG is yelling T, T. John Adams says, be careful how build with this answer, Bird. Be careful how build. Miss Lundell says, took you long enough. Captain, fandom nerd says, hello, Kapla, Captain. And the random menace says, Mom got it in one. Yes, but you gave her clues in which she could use to get it in one. Mom O'Prey saying she had it last night. She read your Facebook. She read your Facebook, but you were already sleeping. Or she assumed you were sleeping. The random menaces fun fact: California was first to ban the master-slave drive description. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Let's look at the news for today. Mayor Eric Adams calls out Hochul feds as New York City braces for a flood of migrants. But we're a sanctuary city. Why are we so upset? With the end of Title 42. Oh, you mean Donald Trump's Title 42. It was a law keeping the number of illegals in the country relatively low, even though they were crossing the border. It allowed a number of people to be sent back immediately upon being caught. Now they can't do that anymore. The number of migrants coming to the Big Apple is expected to snowball with the lifting of Title 42 this week, with 10 to 15 busloads of asylum seekers set to arrive in the next 2 days, according to dire warnings issued by Mayor Eric Adams and City Hall. The email blast sent to city council members and their staff, the Adams administration noted that New York City's shelter system was at capacity and stressed that it had reached out to Governor Kathy Hochul and President Biden for help. Please be advised that due to the lifting of Title 42 later this week, the city is expecting higher amounts of asylum seekers. Buses beginning today, with 2 buses today and 10 to 15 more expected in the next 2 days. City Hall said the message obtained by the Post. And temperatures here are going well below freezing. We're going to see our first 5 days below freezing coming up at Christmas time, of all times. We have diligently advocated for support from our federal and state partners, and we cannot continue to address this issue alone. City officials expected over 1,000 new arrivals each week once the pandemic-related immigration restriction ends Wednesday. Yeah, so these people are going to be coming up, probably most with COVID. Adams said in a statement released later on Sunday, the Trump-era order known as Title 42 allowed Border Patrol to quickly expel immigrants who entered the country illegally. We've already received more than 31,000 asylum seekers into our city and currently have opened 60 emergency shelters for humanitarian relief centers and 2 welcome centers. We have been told in no uncertain terms that beginning today, we should expect an influx of buses coming from the border and that more than 1,000 additional asylum seekers will arrive in New York City every week. The city expects 2 buses of migrants today, 10 to 15 in the next 2 days. Adams and the administration pinned blame on the state of the federal government for not providing the financial support and other resources the city needs to navigate the crisis. We need help from Washington, Adams, who declared a state of emergency, over the migrant crush in October pleaded Sunday evening before participating in a Hanukkah candle lighting ceremony in Manhattan. New York, a sanctuary city, has submitted a $1 billion funding request to the Federal Emergency Management Agency to reimburse for sheltering tens of thousands of asylum seekers arriving from the southern border, according to data released last week. Yeah, Mama Frey says, turn the Javits Center back into a shelter. Our requests for assistance have gone mostly ignored. Wow. You don't say. And while the New York federal delegation has repeatedly advocated for funding to be sent back to New York City, many in Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, really, Democrats, have refused to lift a finger, Adams said in a statement Sunday. This can't continue with the expiration of Title 42 just days away. We need the federal government, both in the administration and Congress, to share their plans to move asylum seekers to other cities and allow asylum seekers to work and send aid to the cities that have borne the brunt of this crisis. You stupid fucks. Maybe you should have voted for the other guy. Some 31,000 migrants have been sent to New York since the spring, and the government has placed 21,400 of them into its overflowing shelter system, according to city data released Monday. Additional buses of migrants arrived Sunday, Adams' spokesman told the Post. An anxious Zoom conference call was held among city officials, and the pending situation last week, as Adams publicly acknowledged he was worried about an influx Thursday. The city council has planned 2 days of hearings. Hearings? What's that going to do? Generate hot air to warm the migrants? Local Democrats and Republicans alike pan-Democrats controlled D.C. for leaving New York in the lurch. The president's, first off, there were no New York Republicans until this last election. All of this is all the Democrats. Yeah, where is AOC now? The president's failure means less money will go to our parks, schools, hospitals, and anything else you can imagine. $1 billion is a lot of money, said City Council Minority Leader Joe Borelli. Added Council Member Justin Brannan, is anyone in Washington listening? I have no idea what they're waiting for. Do we need to beg? They're not waiting for anything. They don't care. You were the schmucks who said we were an open city, a sanctuary city. You brought this on yourselves. You brought it on us, the people of New York. Fuckers. I mean, it sucks. It sucks now that I'm here and they're gonna learn the hard way. But what did you expect? Oh, that's what they're doing. They're wasting their time on the January 6th committee instead of worrying about the migrants actually here in the country. Significant snow expected just before Christmas in southeast Michigan. What do we got? More than 190 countries signed landmark agreement to halt the biodiversity crisis. What? I, I don't know. What the fuck is the biodiversity crisis? What is the biodiversity crisis? More than 190 countries have adopted sweeping agreement to protect nature at the United Nations Biodiversity Conference in Montreal. The gavel went down in the early hours of Monday on an agreement which includes 23 targets aimed at halting biodiversity crisis, including a pledge to protect 30% of land and oceans by 2030. Only 17% of land and 10% of oceans are currently considered protected. Campaigners have hailed this as a major milestone for conserving complex, fragile ecosystems in which everyone depends. But some countries were unhappy, criticizing the agreements for not going far enough. The Democratic Republic of the Congo said it cannot support the agreement and has complained it was rushed through without following proper process. The road to this deal has long been littered with delays. It was originally supposed to take place in China, but difficulties posed by country's zero COVID policies made that impossible. Moved to Canada, blah, blah, blah. Hopes for a new conference, some calling a Paris moment for biodiversity, referring to the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Nature is declining at alarming rates, the 2019 landmark report from the UN's Expert Nature Panel found. Expert Nature Panel, Jesus Christ, found that up to 1 million land and marine species face extinction because human actions. Some scientists say the world is entering its sixth mass extinction. Some scientists say the world is flat. After 2 weeks of negotiations, 2 weeks, a whole 2 weeks, tensions over finance of global conservation proving to be a particular sticking point, the coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework was finally adopted around 3:30 a.m. local time on Monday. As well as a pledge to protect nearly 1/3 of land, fresh water, and seas by 2030, the framework also includes an agreement to reform $500 billion of subsidies that are harmful to nature and to increase biodiversity financing to developing countries. So another way of sending money from the United States to all the shitty third world nations that have too much nature already. Epic Games fined more than $500 million over Fortnite's unfair microtransactions. Now, that seemed interesting until it said Fortnite. Avatar sequel misses estimates, but theater execs not concerned. Let's see, Galaxy 23 delayed. 1923 episode 1 recap. Oh, I didn't watch it yet. I did not watch it. We have a Yellowstone episode and a 1923 episode. Uh-oh. Astronaut shares the profound big lie he realized after seeing Earth from space. Is this Darren's defining moment? Has the truth finally been revealed? No, I'm not signing up. I'll accept the cookies. I'm not signing up. Astronaut shares the profound big lie. Changing perspective could change humanity. The Upworthy. 61 years ago, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to make it in space, and probably the first to experience what scientists now call the overview effect. The change occurs when people see the world far above and notice that it's a place where borders are invisible, where racial, religious, and economic strife are nowhere to be seen. That's actually fake. You can clearly see borders from space because of the way land use is different between neighboring countries. The overview makes men's squabbles with one another seem incredibly petty and presents the planet as it truly is, one interconnected organism. In a compelling interview with Big Think, astronaut, author, and humanitarian Ron Garin explains how more of us develop this planetary perspective, we could fix much of what ails humanity and the planet. Okay, good, whatever. Never mind. So no, it's not that the Earth is flat. What Zoe Sandala on which sci-fi language is easier, Star Trek's Klingon or Avatar's Na'vi? In 2009, Zoe Saldana appeared in two big sci-fi movies as communications officer Nyota Uhura in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, and as the Na'vi alien, whatever, in James Cameron's Avatar. That was both the same year, 2009. Jesus Christ. She has since appeared in two additional Star Trek movies, but the first follow-up to Avatar didn't arrive until this weekend. Gave her an opportunity to compare different fictional languages. Klingon or Na'vi? The Danish movie journalist and friend of Trek Movie sent us a video clip from his movie TV interview. Just tell us what she says. A couple of weeks ago, she appeared in a popular talk show, answer questions, whatever. Early on, asked if there are differences between Star Trek fans and Marvel fans. She says Trekkies take it far more seriously. They're lovely, adding the optimistic vision of future that gives the franchise a very special place in people's hearts. She'll be returning to Marvel Universe, blah, 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 Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, but what about Klingon? I'm happy in space. I've always been happy in space. I can relate to people who love space. I relate to men like James Gunn and James Cameron and J.J. Abrams. What about Klingon? Oh, this, you gotta watch it. Which language is harder? She would say Klingon. Klingon's harder. Let's double check. Yeah, she would say Klingon because she had to learn it quickly. But it was fun. Okay. Yeah, thanks. No thanks. That's what's the fucking point of reading an article if I have to watch a video to read the article? No, the Ukraine war isn't over. Did anybody say it was? Okay. Tech's latest controversy, the return of the 5-day in-person work week. Oh, so sad. So sad. Okay, let's get ready for Dear Bob. Let me check the chat before we get back to Dear Bob. LDG says, Mr. Lundell, do you have a moment? The Random Menace says, yes, Wordle is the last thing I do before going to sleep. John DeMarco says, no big deal, just open up the sanctuary districts. That's a great point, John. It's time for the sanctuary districts. It is almost 2024. Dave G. Sounds says, there is no sanctuary. Ms. Lundell says, that's what you voted for, America. Rejoice and be glad in it. Well, that's debatable if we voted for it or not. Ms. Lundell says, China is the biggest polluter in the solar system. Nobody says anything about it. And LDG puts a link to his Twitter. He's learning from a master, Elon Musk. He will abide by the results of this poll should he leave Twitter. And everybody's going to vote yes. And he will leave Twitter for one day. Okay. The Random Man says in-person work would require me usage of transporters that do not exist yet. Well, someday soon. Okay, let's get to Dear Bop. Dear Bops, not too bad. Let's start. Dear Bop, Futurama revival, plot, cast, everything else to know, updated October 25th. Yes, it was my phone. Yeah, Mom, it's okay. Futurama revival. Futurama is officially getting a revival following Hulu's announcement. Fans started to prepare themselves for new episodes. Blah, blah, blah. A longtime fan favorite, winning 6 Enemies, Writers Guild, Hearts and Audiences. Future 140 episodes. The new season will have 20 fresh opportunities to earn Futurama All New awards, as Hulu announced the season would have 20 episodes with 30-minute duration, directed by Matt Groening and David X. Cohen, who also worked in The Simpsons. The show has potential to continue with more episodes, but it all depends on the viewing rate and the public's response. So does that mean we will again have another possible final episode of Futurama at the end of these 20? Futurama Season 8 getting renewed through Hulu is a result of streaming platforms' business deals with 20th Century Fox, which dates back to 2017. Futurama still remains popular. Fans continue to revisit its 7 seasons over and over again, as well as looking for information and anecdotes about the show, as well as actors who gave voice to the characters that marked a generation. While we wait for a new season of the show to premiere, let's take a look at everything we know. Updated October 22. Season 8 plot and episodes. accidental. The show's finale that aired in 2013, meanwhile, is a perfect launching point for the revival. The episode events saw Fry and Leela grow old and happy. However, they agree to go on their zany adventures once again when the professor builds a device capable of altering the universe and sending them back in time with no memory of what has happened. If the new show picks up from the following events, we will see some of the same storylines as before, but with changes, or all new stories, perhaps both. Only time will tell. I thought it was only supposed to erase the events of what happened from the point where time cracked. I didn't think it was going to erase the entire show. If it erases the entire show, I'd be very upset. They don't know anything, so this is a lot of wasted time. There's nothing of value here. I appreciate the link, but there was no real update. Dear Bob, what do you think is the worst TV company or provider? The worst TV provider? A tough one. Like, honestly, and people say, oh, Paramount Plus, but honestly, Paramount Plus has got some things I like. It's got Young Sheldon. It's got all the old Trek. It's got 1923. It's got 1883. One day it will have Yellowstone. I'm certain of it. It honestly, except for the fact that it has Star Trek Discovery, it's not the worst. But it does have Star Trek Discovery. So it's close to. It's close to it. I don't know. I've never liked what's the cable company? Not Charter. Huh? No, not our cable company. The one with a C. Not Charter. Comcast. Comcast was always the bane of my existence for so long. But it's been so long, I don't even know if they count anymore. Are they even in? I'm sure they're in business, but yeah, I don't know. I really, I'd be hard pressed to tell you the worst. The worst provider is the one you don't need, but you're still paying for. It might be Hulu, but I pay for Hulu. They're one of the few, and they greatly improved about 4 months ago. They were really bad, but 3 or 4 months ago, they completely redid their whole setup, and they're much better than they used to be. So I don't even know. I mean, Apple TV only doesn't have a hell of a lot of content, but it's not all that expensive, and it does have at least one amazing show. For All Mankind, and it's got some good movies. So Netflix is still Netflix. It's got a ton of content. Disney has all its Disney stuff. I would say, I mean, if of all the things that if I had to not, if I didn't need one, well, all the sports networks are completely useless to me. Okay, ESPN Plus that would totally get rid of ESPN Plus. I wouldn't shed a tear. Would never watch it. It's unfortunately bundled free because I already get the other Hulu and Disney Plus. There's no way of getting rid of it because they give it to you for free. So, but yeah, okay. So ESPN Plus, that would be it. If that doesn't count, Showtime Plus or Showtime Go, whatever the hell that's called, that would be the one I least care about. The entire time, the only thing I've ever watched on it was the Dexter remake, which was okay, but not remake. The Dexter sequel season, which was okay, but not great. Back in the day when they still had Homeland, that was something. Moxley fan confirms Comcast is the worst provider. Mr. Lundell would watch Futurama again. That's good. That's good. LDG hopes people vote honestly and not as a joke. Captain Fandom Nerd calls them crapcast. Darren says LDG wants you to pick up the pace with these Dear Bops. Well, LDG shouldn't be writing fake Dear Bops, especially if he wants real answers on his Twitter poll. Dear Bop, is there anything from Star Trek you would eat or drink? I mean, lots of food that's not alien is all good with me. Chocolate sundae. Mama Price says the chocolate sundae. I was even curious how Riker's scrambled eggs taste. Worf seemed to like them. Dear Bop, sit, emo, sit. Good dog. Dear Bop, did you know Budapest has lots of restaurants? They don't want you to leave hungry. Wah, 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 wah. Because Budapest is in Hungary, the country. Dear Bop, if I have a box of Ritz and you don't have a box of Ritz, what are you? You bird are crack-a-lackin'. Crack-a-lackin'. As in lacking crackers. I'm crack-a-lackin'. If I knew what crack-a-lackin' was supposed to refer to, Mama Pray, do you understand this? I feel like crack-a-lackin' must mean something else. Jesus Christ. This is wall attacks. Dear Bop, this is my first Dear Bop, so please forgive me if I come off as crazy, for I know this will sound, Mr. Bop, but I need your help. How do I put this so I will just say it? Santa is coming to kill me. Yeah, I know. Or I guess I should start at the beginning. I have not exactly been the best behaved kid growing up, and last year I did something really bad. It started during that year when I began becoming annoyed of having to see everyone happy during certain times of the year. I don't know if it was because of the holiday or the fact it seems like during them, everyone had good times while I had to endure pain, loneliness, and suffering at my home. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? Where did we go? Excuse me. Pain, loneliness, and suffering at my home. I never got to enjoy the times I thought were enjoyed by everyone. And not only that, but have thrown it in my face when I went back to school, having to hear everyone's stories, see their gifts and presents that they would receive when I always got next to nothing. I couldn't take it. So last year I decided to do something that would make everyone feel as I do. I decided to kill Santa Claus. Yeah, I had enough. So on Christmas Eve, I snuck out of bed before midnight and I took some liquid plumber and put it in the chocolate milk that we put out for Santa before going to bed. I figured Santa would drop off one present I get, like I always get for Christmas, sit down and drink the milk, and that would be it. No more Santa Claus, no more Christmas, and the world would finally know how it feels to be in my shoes. Then I woke up. I ran to the living room expecting to find Santa laying on the carpet floor, but ran into something must have went wrong. Instead of finding Santa, I found my father laying dead on the floor. Santa killed him. I don't know exactly what happened, but I was asleep, and it looked like he struggled with Santa and was laying on the floor as if he choked to death. Then, to make things worse, since that day, my own mother stopped talking to me. She kept looking at me strange, and a month later, she just left. I don't know where she went to, but some people came and took me away, and now I live with some foster parents. I think Santa must have known what I did and when he was going to hurt me. Father must have been there trying to stop him from hurting me, and that is when they got to battle to the death. But I know he's coming for me this year. What should I do? I don't want to die. I made a mistake. I'm scared, Mr. Bob. What should I do? They should take your keyboard away, LDG. That's what they should do. Okay, I don't need you turning Dear Bop into a web of lies. This is sacred. Dear Bop, in Home Alone 2, is that double deck bridge real? And also, were you able to go to the top of the World Trade Center? Were the fireworks Kevin launched even legal in New York? Also, wouldn't Kevin get arrested for all the traps he set in a house that wasn't his and should have killed Marv and Harry? I mean, he could have called the police at any time. Instead, he wanted to torture them. The double-decker bridge is probably real. I certainly don't remember any fake bridges. We have several double-decker bridges in New York. You were as a pedestrian or a civilian or a tourist, you were not able to go to the very, very top of the World Trade Center. There was a viewing window, like 3/4 of the way up, 4/5 of the way up, not quite at the top. You could go to. At the very top, I think there was a restaurant in one of the, Windows of the World was in one of the towns. Mamo Frey was there once. Fireworks are very much illegal in New York. So yeah, he would have been arrested for that. And yes, he would have got, well, as a child, he probably wouldn't have been technically arrested, but he would have been in trouble for setting those traps. Even in your own home, you can't legally set a booby trap, because what if the fire department or EMTs had to come into your house, and you can't accidentally harm them. So it's a lot of fun, but it doesn't work like that, especially in especially in a place like New York, where we give more rights to the criminals than we do the homeowners. Mike Richards is signed Stephen King. No, it wasn't. Dear Bob, crack-a-lackin'. That's right, crack-a-lackin'. And a bunch of zebras. I have no idea what this means. I guess it's a meme. Dear Bob, how can you not know who Weezer is? Have you never heard of Buddy Holly? I've heard of Buddy Holly. What's with these homies dissing my girl? Why do they got a front? What did we ever do to these guys that made them so violent? Woohoo, but I know I'm yours. Woohoo, I know you're mine. Okay, I'm not reading this whole fucking song. Blah, 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 blah. I don't see. I don't see anything about a Weezer, Woozer, or whatever. And even if it was in this song, I highly doubt it has anything to do with emo culture. Dear Bop, screw you, Darren. I love Dear Bop. Dear Bop, what does crack-a-lacking mean? I didn't ask. The Urban Dictionary and the Online Slang Dictionary both give a definition for crack-a-lackin' as meaning happening, as in what's a crack-a-lackin', probably derived from the what's crackin', which is an older term meaning the same thing. Marty, the zebra from Madagascar, used what's crack-a-lackin' often. I've never seen Madagascar. Dear Bob, how do I convince my kids Santa wants beer and pizza, not milk and cookies? Well, Santa could send them a video message, perhaps. You know, you could just record something wearing a Santa suit, or get a family friend, or a complete stranger. You could probably get somebody on Fiverr in a Santa suit to record anything you want, and just tell them that, hey, I got this message from Santa, and play the video for them, and Santa can tell them to do, whatever you want. Say, kids, instead of milk and cookies this year, I want pizza and beer and, some pics of your mom in the shower wouldn't hurt either. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. You could probably have Santa say anything, and the kids would probably do it. Just thinking ahead. Dear Bop, I'm not going to the Babylon Bee. I'm sorry. I hate the Babylon Bee. I hate the Onion. I fuck satire, news. I will not give it any of my time. There is nothing good that can come from it. Hakeem says, what did the song Beverly Hills? Weaver did the song Beverly Hills. I don't know the song Beverly Hills. I mean, I know Weird Al's Beverly Hillbillies song. Mike Richards says, don't drink and fly, as a quote. I don't know what that is. Is that a quote from the song Beverly Hills? Because I've never heard of that song. Dear Bob, Weezer is the band who wrote and perform the song Buddy Holly. Well, then I've never heard of a song called Buddy Holly. I thought I was a guy named Buddy Holly, but was that, maybe I'm misthinking of his name. Anyway, I think that'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for hanging out. Greatly appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed National Emo Day. And so it's Monday. Wednesday, we have Enterprise Wednesday. Friday will be another Bed Life. This Sunday, I will be taking the day off. There will be no Twilight Zone this Sunday. We will come back to it the following Sunday, which will be New Year's Day. But for Christmas Day, there will be no Twilight Zone. Depending on how the day goes, I may or may not stream something else on Sunday. I'll try to stream at some point Saturday or Sunday, but it's very much up in the air right now. Buddy Holly died in a plane crash in Iowa, says Gorilla. Gotcha. Yitza, Buddy Holly, that was the day the music died. So I know that from American Pie. Yitza Lemon says, Bird, you should do shorts or videos like those people who hear a song for the first time and react to it. I've never seen such videos. But I mean, shorts have to be less than a minute long, and every song I've ever heard is, well over a minute. So, also, by the way, I hate short videos. So I really don't foresee myself making short videos. Dan Ben says, hi. Hey, Dan. Mike Richards says, farewell from Columbus, Ohio. John DeMarco says, have a good evening, everyone. Random Menace says, stay emo and kapla. And Miss Londell's Groovy Movies says, there'll be cinema Saturday and Sunday for those interested. Very cool. And John DeMarco says, Jep Nerdy, Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, guys. Jep Nerdy at 9 p.m. Eastern. Kapla all. Bird out.